Hey guys, Dan coming at you. It is Wednesday, April 9th, and it is New Comic Book Day. It looks like there's not a lot of stuff on my list that came out, but I'm still pretty excited to get down there because I know there's a few things that are on my list. I might pick up the new Batman series, Batman Eternal, that's being done by DC Comics, so I might pick that up. For those of you who are wondering, the local comic shop that I use is Level Up Entertainment, and they're located in Mays Landing, in the Hamilton Mall on the Black Horse Pike. Some of you may have heard of them before. They're partnered with this company, Farpoint Toys and Collectibles, who does an awesome diorama in the window every year. The first year was like a Marvel City display type thing. Lots of X-Men and Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. I actually put a picture of the Hulk from there with some superimposed text up on my Instagram a couple years ago. And then the second year, after that, they decided to crowdsource the diorama to help cover the costs because these dioramas can get very expensive. And their second diorama that they did was Castle Grayskull, He-Man, Masters of the Universe. And that just recently got taken down to make way for the new display they're working on, which is G.I. Joe and the Autobots versus Cobra and the Decepticons. And they're actually doing something really interesting where when you contribute on Kickstarter, the contribution that you make is actually a vote towards who you want to see win. And then based on, who votes what, they're going to pick the winners off of that. As of right now, the Kickstarter has, I believe, 4 days left. I'm going to put a link for that below if you're watching this before the Kickstarter expires. Head over, check it out. They got some pictures up of the diorama. Check that out. These are really cool cats, the guys who run Farpoint Toys. So I'm really excited to see the unveiling on Free Comic Book Day of this. They're actually doing this really cool thing where they're going to take the G.I. Joe figures and they're going to scale the Transformers to the right size compared to the figures. So it's like a 6-inch G.I. Joe is going to mean an 18-inch Transformer. If you want to help out these cats a little bit, help support the culture a little bit, head on over to Kickstarter. I'll have the link down there. If not, it's cool. But always, make sure if you're ever in the area, head on out to the store, check out the window displays. These guys are always awesome at what they do. They go above and beyond with this. I can't thank them enough for that. It's just so awesome. They had this dream. They started doing this, and people come from all over the place just to see these dioramas. It's amazing. So, like I said, if you're in the area, come on, check it out. If you want, go kickstart it. If not, it's cool. It's all good, so let's get going. Inevitably, this goes without saying, but there is nothing I love more than going to the comic book store and seeing all the new books on the wall, be they the independent books, the DC books, the Marvel books, even the kids' books. Save the date, May 3rd is Free Comic Book Day. I'm incredibly excited for the Bongo Comics Free Comic Book Day exclusive, as well as the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers book, which looks like some fun nostalgia. Hey guys, so it turns out that I am human and I am not perfect. Turns out some of the footage I shot earlier today of what I actually bought at the comic book store, turns out I wasn't recording when I thought I was. So that footage doesn't exist. So, I had a really long day, but I'm just going to go over everything I got that the footage wasn't there of now. Some of the footage was there and some of it wasn't, so I'm just going to record that now, so enjoy. So the first book that I picked up was Rocky and Bullwinkle, and this was actually a series that started last month or a couple weeks ago. This is one of the ones that I'm behind on. I haven't had a chance to read yet, but this is issue 2. And I was actually flipping through it a little bit, and, it's really cool. It's got the Rocky and Bullwinkle story in there, plus it's got a Dudley Do-Right story, and it's got, a lot of the characters from the old Rocky and Bullwinkle mythology. It's got Gidney and Cloyd, the Martians, 2 of my favorite characters from the Rocky and Bullwinkle mythos. So I'm looking forward to catching up and reading this one. The next book that I picked up is one by Marvel Comics, and it is Iron Man number 24. I actually started reading the Iron Man series digitally over on Comixology when they had a 99-cent sale. And whenever they put those on sale, I picked those up. But then when they launched the Jump On Point, I decided, let me start reading the series every month because, I've seen the movies that Robert Downey Jr. did. and I found them really interesting. I found them entertaining. I found Tony Stark to be a fun character, and I've gone back, I've read some of the older stuff, so I'm really excited about reading this. Even when I fall behind, I still make sure I pick up on my books. That way, when I do go to catch up, I'm not missing anything. J. Michael Straczynski has worked on a lot of things, and actually right now he's working on a book for Dynamite Entertainment, which is The Twilight Zone. And I'm not fully caught up on this one, but I did read the first 2 issues, and I'm excited to continue reading the issues that are out. This is issue number 4 of The Twilight Zone. And what I like about this is, aside from the fact that Straczynski is a great writer, J. Michael Straczynski is a fantastic writer, he's really got a story going here where it really feels like it could be an episode of The Twilight Zone. Mark Waid recently, for a while he's been writing Daredevil, but he recently, they relaunched it with a new number 1. I don't fully know why, but today I picked up Daredevil 1.50, which is the 50th anniversary edition issue, I think. It looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's a little bit thicker than the issues usually, and it looks like the price is a little higher. I don't know. It seems like this week, Marvel's really bumped up their prices this week. They're pulling a DC. Yeah. This one's $4.99, and then Deadpool was $9.99. So I don't know what it is this week. X Factor number 6. There's not a lot I can really say about this. I read the first couple of issues of X Factor, and then, as they say, life got in the way, so I didn't get a chance to fully catch up. I know it's sad how many of my issues I'm not caught up on. I was following Superior Spider-Man Great, and then I even got behind a couple issues on that. I've been working overtime and stuff, so excited to read this. If I remember correctly, All New X Factor is about Gambit building a team, and I liked what I read of the first couple of issues, considering I had never been a Gambit fan and I had never heard of X Factor, nor had I ever read X Factor. So the first couple of issues they pulled me in, so I'm looking forward to getting a chance to read this. I've always been a fan of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead movies, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. I'm looking forward to Army of Darkness 2 that they're doing. But Dynamite has been putting out a comic book series called Ash and the Army of Darkness, which follows the story of Ash after the events of Army of Darkness. It basically, at the end of the movie, there's this thing where he's back in his world and he's telling a story of being a hero of the Middle Age, and the guy he said the words wrong. Ash said the words wrong, and this series kind of follows the fallout of that, and he winds up back in the Middle Ages, having to deal with the Deadites all over again, and evil Ash, and it was just a really fun story. It's one of the few series that I'm actually caught up on. I'm really excited to see where this one goes. I'm just hoping that what goes on in this book doesn't wind up getting retconned when they finally release Army of Darkness 2. This week was mostly a Marvel and Dynamite week. I had very few DC books in my pull bin, and this is one of the few DC books that I actually had in. Huntress and Power Girl, World's Finest. I'm not even close to caught up on this series, so at some point I'll get caught up. I mean, it looks... I read the first couple of issues of it and I liked it. And it looks like the series is getting interesting, so I'm going to have to jump on that soon, especially considering Nightwing is ending or just ended. That does open up a spot for me to have time to read a book. When I first got back into comic reading, most of my reading was with DC books. I think it's just because I was always a DC kid. I mostly watched DC stuff on TV. I played mostly DC games. So I didn't really read many Marvel books. I pick them up from time to time. And when I first jumped onto reading Marvel, I was picking up the X-Men books, because it was like right after Battle of the Atom, and they had all these jump-on points. So I also picked up issue 25 of All New X-Men, and this is being billed as the monumental 25th issue featuring the greatest artist roster ever assembled. And I was just kind of flipping through to get an idea of who was going to be in it, and I actually saw a name that really stood out. Bruce Timm did some of the art for this book, so I'm incredibly excited to read this. This was another one of those $4.99 ones that contributes to the whole... Marvel really jacked their prices up this month. But I love Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm does used to do all kinds of DC stuff. It was him and Paul Dini, and they did the DC animated universe of Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond, Justice League, and Bruce Timm had drawn a little bit of the Harley Quinn issue 0. So I'm super excited to check this one out. again, when I get caught up. I also picked up Deadpool number 27, which is the big wedding issue. It's got like a wraparound cover showing all the different guests at Deadpool's wedding. This one was definitely the priciest book I picked up this week. This one was $9.99, but I kind of feel a little better when you look at the thickness of the book. You know, this isn't really a comic. They could have thrown, you know, a stronger cover on this and sold this as a paperback. And then these last two books are actually new books for the week that just came out. The first one is Batman Eternal, which is a new weekly series that they're going to be doing with Batman that I'm probably going to pick up for a little while, in addition to Futures End. The price of this one's going to add up fast, so as soon as it starts to slow, I'm dropping it. And then I'll just wait for the trades at that point. Hopefully DC's not going to drag out the trades like they normally do. And then finally, this last one is actually written by a legend. It's a new book, just came out this week, and that is Nightcrawler #1 by Chris Claremont. And, you know, just a quick glance through this book. This definitely, I haven't read it yet, but I'll be doing a review for this one and Batman Eternal #1 and a couple of others in the next day or two. But this one, it's got the modern art style, but it looks like, based on the way the pages are set up, it's got a very 80s feel to it. So that's what I wound up picking up for the week. Deadpool, you know, that set me back a little bit, but it didn't set me back as bad as I thought it would. So I'm really looking forward to reading these and reviewing them. Yeah, I'll be doing a review for a couple of these. You'll be able to find those here on this channel, because this isn't just a movie channel, despite what my DVD movies may suggest. This is also, you know, a geek channel, a gaming channel, a comic book channel, a Lego channel. You're going to be seeing all kinds of awesome stuff. Tell me in the comments below if you think there's any comics I should be reading or reviewing, and I'll definitely check those out. As always, you cats can find me on Instagram, HollywoodLights1992, over on Twitter at twitter.com/DanStransky. Down below, I'm going to have the link for TeeFury, the Kickstarter I was talking about at the beginning of the show. You know, my blog that I'm going to start updating again soon. My old YouTube channel. You'll find all that down below. So you know what? Until next time, this is Dan signing off.